Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about another very important topic, that is steroid hormone. I will talk about the synthesis. I will talk about their distribution throughout the body, and I will talk about their mechanism of action as well. Before moving toward the lecture, please like this video and subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon so that you may get notification for the upcoming videos as well. Well, first of all, let's start from the types. Steroid hormone is are basically of two types. The one are corticosteroids and other are sex hormones. Corticosteroid hormones are basically secreted or basically released from the adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex. We know that on our kidney there is a gland called as adrenal gland, and this outer portion of the adrenal gland, that is green in color, is basically adrenal cortex, while this inner yellow portion is basically called as adrenal medulla. So steroid hormone, that are basically corticosteroids, they are released from the adrenal cortex. Okay. At the same time, sex hormones, they are released from mostly gonads and placenta. Okay. If we talk about the corticosteroid, they are further of two types. Uh, Glucocorticoids, which are responsible for regulation of glucose. Like, for example, glucocorticoid example is cortisol, and that is involved in gluconeogenesis. So it's mean those hormones which are responsible in regulation of glucose. Obviously, they do have some other function as well, but most prominently their function is glucose regulation. So this is the reason they are called as glucocorticoids. Similarly, mineralocorticoids are those hormones, those steroid hormone released from the adrenal cortex, which are involved in the regulation of minerals. Like, we know that aldosterone released from the adrenal cortex is basically involved in the regulation of sodium and potassium level in our body. Okay, so those steroid hormone that are being released from the adrenal cortex will be called as corticosteroid. There are two types: glucocorticoid and mineralocorticoid. Glucocorticoid play their important role in the regulation of glucose. Mineralocorticoid play their important role in the regulation of mineral. Glucocorticoid example is cortisol. Mineralocorticoid example is aldosterone. Clear? Okay. Now, if we look at the structure of this adrenal cortex, this adrenal cortex, this green in color, this is the adrenal cortex, and this adrenal cortex, I have divided it into three structures, three zones. The one, the upper, will be called as zona glomerulosa. This middle one will be called as zona fasciculata, and this will be called as zona reticularis. Okay. This adrenal cortex portion, that is zona glomerulosa, is basically responsible for secreting mineralocorticoid, and we know that mineralocorticoid example is aldosterone. It is responsible for regulation of minerals like sodium ion and potassium ion. Okay. Similarly, zona fasciculata, it is responsible for secreting glucocorticoids like cortisol, cortisone, and corticosterones, etc. Okay. Now, zona reticularis, it is basically responsible for secreting androgens, and the most uh, prominent androgens, if we talk about, they are, for example, testosterone. Testosterone. Androgens are basically male sex hormones, which are responsible for male traits. It's not like they are not present in the female, but they are also present in the females, but mostly they are responsible for the male traits. So they are also called as male sex hormone androgens. Now, if we talk about the sex hormone, there are three type of sex hormone are present. The one is androgen, then estrogen, and then progesterone. So they are basically all all steroid hormone present in our body. Clear? Now, if we talk about the synthesis of steroid hormone, we know that they are synthesized in uh, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and to some extent to in the mitochondria of the cell. The precursor of these steroid hormone is cholesterol. For example, here you can see aldosterone, the mineralocorticoid, cortisol, the glucocorticoid, testosterone, the androgens. They all are steroid hormones. And if we look at their precursors, we will get to know that the precursor of all these hormones is basically, yes, here it is, cholesterol. So it means all these steroid hormones, they are derivatives of cholesterol. This cholesterol is converted uh, into these steroid hormone after being converted into some different intermediate molecule as well. Okay, so all the steroid hormones, some are given here and some are not shown in this uh, flow diagram. All the steroid hormone, they are derivative of this cholesterol, and cholesterol can be synthesized from the acetate with the help of an enzyme, uh, HMG coenzyme reductase. HMG coenzyme A reductase, and this enzyme is very important for a clinical point of view, because most of the cholesterol lowering drugs like statins, they block this enzyme basically. Those drugs block this enzyme, and once this enzyme will be blocked, obviously the synthesis of cholesterol will decrease. Okay, now what will happen if we talk about synthesis of these steroid hormones? We'll get to know that cholesterol, first of all, it will be converted into desmolase. It will be converted into uh, pregnenolone with the help of enzyme desmolase. Now, I'm going to talk about this enzyme in later part of the lecture. So please listen this pathway very importantly. Okay, cholesterol will be converted into pregnenolone, and then nanolone will be converted into progesterone with the help of this enzyme, beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase. Beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase. With the help of this enzyme, it will be converted into progesterone. Okay, now this progesterone, it can be acted upon by 25 alpha hydroxylase enzyme present in the zona glomerulosa. Zona glomerulosa. Okay, here this enzyme 21 alpha hydroxylase is present in the zona glomerulosa. Okay, and this zona glomerulosa, it will convert this progesterone into 2 dehydroxycorticosterone. Now inside the zona glomerulosa, uh, this 2 dehydroxycorticosterone will be converted into corticosterone with the help of an enzyme 2 beta hydroxylase. Okay, now this corticosterone will be converted into aldosterone with the help of an enzyme aldosterone synthase. So it means this aldosterone will be synthesized in the zona glomerulosa by following this pathway. But if we look at the precursor is the parent molecule is cholesterol. Clear? Now we talk about the zona fasciculata. Then inside the zona fasciculata, the enzyme 7 alpha hydroxylase will act on the progesterone. We know that inside the zona uh, glomerulosa, the enzyme was 21 alpha hydroxylase, while inside the zona fasciculata, the enzyme 7 alpha hydroxylase will act upon this progesterone, and now it will be converted into 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone. 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone. Okay, this enzyme will be present in zona fasciculata, and uh, zona reticularis as well. Zona reticularis, zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. This enzyme will be present, alpha hydroxylase. So it means in both zona fasciculata and in the zona reticularis, this progesterone, it will be converted into 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone. Inside the zona fasciculata and inside the zona reticularis, the progesterone will be converted into 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone, while inside the zona glomerulosa, the progesterone will be converted into 2 dehydroxycorticosterone. Now this 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone, it will be acted upon by 21 alpha hydroxylase enzyme inside the zona fasciculata, and inside the zona. Now this enzyme, the cortisol, will be synthesized in the zona fasciculata. Now this pathway will be followed in the zona fasciculata and this pathway will be followed in the zona reticularis. Now 21 alpha hydroxylase enzyme inside the zona fasciculata will act on the 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone. It will be converted into 2 dehydroxycortisol that will be further converted into cortisol with the help of enzyme 2 beta hydroxylase. While inside the zona reticularis, that is the lower part of the adrenal cortex, this 7 alpha hydroxyprogesterone will be converted into androstenedione and testosterone, and they both are called as androgens. Okay, so we know that inside the zona glomerulosa, aldosterone was being formed. Inside the zona fasciculata, cortisol was being formed, and inside the zona reticularis, testosterone was being formed. But if we look at their parent molecule, and that is the cholesterol, it means they all are basically derivatives of cholesterol. Okay, now let's discuss. Let me tell you one more thing. How they will be synthesized, I have explained you the pathway, but who will stimulate these syntheses? There are certain hormones, there are certain factors who will synthesize. For example, here I have given an example, ACTH, adrenocorticotropic hormone, released from the pituitary gland. It will basically stimulate the desmolase enzyme. So when there is more desmolase, obviously the synthesis of hormones will increase. So ultimately some other hormones or other factors are basically stimulating the synthesis of these hormones. Now point is, unlike the peptide hormone, in the peptide hormone we have seen that when the stimulus was coming, as the stimulus arrived, the hormones were already present in the vesicles. They were synthesized and packed in the vesicle, and when the stimulus arrived, they just released their content into the blood circulation. But in this case, we have seen that when the stimulus will come, the synthesis of steroid hormone will start. While peptide hormone, they were already synthesized and they were packed in the vesicle and they were present in the cell. They were just waiting for the stimulus. As soon as stimulus will come, the respective gland will release their peptide hormone into the blood circulation. But in this case, when the stimulus will come, the synthesis of steroid hormone will start. Okay, so it means steroid hormone will not show immediate effect. They will show a little bit delay response, because after being synthesized and released into blood, it will take a time. Furthermore, if we talk about their release, we know that steroid hormones are lipophilic. They will simply, after synthesis, they will simply diffuse into the blood circulation. Okay, but point is, being lipophilic, being insoluble in water, they will not be transported to the distant target organ or target cell by simply dissolving in the blood, because they are insoluble in water, they are insoluble in blood, so they cannot be transported by dissolving into the blood. So it means they need specific carrier proteins. And if you talk about general example, albumin. Albumin is one of the common carrier protein that help in the distribution of these steroid hormone after being released into the blood vessels. Okay, albumin, they will bind to the albumin and they will travel to the distant organ. And if you talk about specific, or obviously sex hormone binding protein, cortisol binding proteins, there are some specific binding protein varying from hormone to hormone are also present. So what will happen, these hormones, these are the steroid hormone and these are the carrier protein. They will attach with these carrier protein and they will travel to the distant cell. They will travel to the distant cell. But we know that these protein and hormone complex, they will not be able to. There are basically two hypotheses. One free hormone hypothesis, and there is another hypothesis. I will talk about that later on. So what is the free hormone hypothesis is that this complex, just a minute, this protein and hormone complex, this complex will not be able to diffuse into the cell. So what will happen, now this hormone will get separated from this complex and it will get enter inside the cell. It will simply diffuse inside the cell. Okay, and inside the cell this hormone will act by its receptor. We know that steroid hormone are lipophilic, so they can simply get enter inside the cell and they will be having intracellular or intranuclear receptor. Unlike peptide hormone who were hydrophilic, they were unable to cross the lipid bilayer membrane. So their receptor were present at the cell membrane, and we have talked about their mechanism as well. Okay, they will after acting on the membrane receptor, some intracellular signaling will start and the response will be given by the peptide hormone. But steroid hormone, they are lipid soluble, lipophilic. They will simply diffuse inside the cell, and inside the cell specific receptor will be present for these hormones. Okay, these receptor may be present inside the cytoplasm or they may be present inside the cell. For some hormone, the receptor may be present inside the cytoplasm or inside the nucleus, sorry, not in the cell, inside the nucleus. Or in some cases, their receptor can be present inside the nucleus. So for example, this is a nucleus and here is a DNA. So what will happen when this hormone, it will act on this receptor. Now this receptor will act as a transcription factor, for certain specific gene. Now this receptor hormone complex, it will simply get entered inside the nucleus and it will cause a transcription of certain genes. We know that genes are present on the DNA. It will cause a transcription of certain gene. So as a result, a specific RNA from these genes will be formed. Now this RNA, it will come out of the cell. It will attach on the ribosome and specific proteins will be formed. And from these protein, response will be produced. Response will be given. Clear? Now, sometime the receptor for these steroid hormone can directly present inside the nucleus. So what will happen? This nuclear hormone, it will get enter inside the cell. Now it will directly go and it will bind to its intranuclear receptor. Now this receptor and hormone, it will act as this complex will act as a transcription factor and it will cause the activation of some genes. As a result, RNA will be formed. RNA will go out of the nucleus, attach on the ribosome, certain proteins will be formed and a response will be given. In this way, steroid hormone give response, and this type of response is called as genomic response because genes are involved. Genomic response. There is another response called as non-genomic response. I will talk about right after some minutes. Okay, genomic response. Now there is another theory, and this theory is called as another hypothesis, which explains that, for example, when the hormone will be steroid hormone will be released into the blood, obviously it will attach on the certain transporting proteins for transportation, for the distribution, and once it will reach to the target organ, target cell, this hypothesis says that there are certain evidences which says that the hormone will not get separated from this carrier protein. This hormone and carrier protein complex, it will attach on the certain receptors. There are specific receptors are present on the target cell for this complex, and when this complex along with the hormone, it will bind to these receptor, this receptor hormone complex will be endocytosed. It will be endocytosed. So through the process of endocytosis, this hormone and receptor complex will get inside the cell. Now this complex will go to the lysosome. It will be taken up by the lysosomes. Okay, and they will separate this hormone from the carrier protein. Separate this hormone from the carrier protein. Now this carrier protein, it will go and act on their receptors. Either they are present inside the cytoplasm, or either they are present inside the nucleus. If they are present in the cytoplasm, they will go and they will act on these receptor, and this receptor and hormone complex, it will act as transcription factor and cause the transcription of certain gene. Okay, but if the receptor are present inside the nucleus, they will go, they will bind to this receptor, and now this receptor hormone complex will cause the activation of certain gene. As a result, RNA will be formed, as a result protein will be formed, and as a result response will be given. Okay, again this response is genomic response because genes are involved. So again, this is a genomic response, this is a genomic response. There is another type of response that can be produced. For example, in the case of estrogen, some steroid hormone do have receptor present on the cell membrane. Receptors present on the cell membrane. So obviously, once for example, they are the receptors present for the steroid hormone. Yes, steroid hormone do have capacity to diffuse inside the cell, but sometimes they have receptor present on the cell membrane. So once this steroid hormone, it will act on this receptor through the intracellular signaling. Some other already present protein, they will get activated through the intracellular signaling. Now look at this. In the non-genomic response, new proteins were being formed after the transcription and translation process. In the genomic response, in the genomic response, new proteins were being formed. Okay, but in the non-genomic response, proteins are already present. They just will be activated once this hormone will act on their receptor present on the cell membrane. Through the intracellular signaling, this protein will get activated. So this is called as a non-genomic response because genes are not involved in this case. So obviously non-genomic response will be faster as compared to genomic response. Why faster? Because this pathway do not need to synthesize new protein. It just need to activate the protein already present in the cytoplasm. What is this signaling mechanism and how these proteins will get activated? I have talked about these signaling mechanism in my previous video. You can go and watch them to learn about these signaling mechanism, that how already present protein can get activated. Okay, in this way steroid hormones are synthesized and they show their action. Okay, the point is how they will be secreted. Obviously after producing their action, they will be metabolized by the liver, and ultimately they will be secreted from the body through feces or urine. Okay, this was all about the steroid hormone. I hope you like my video. Please don't forget to subscribe my channel and press the bell icon and like this video as well. uh, if you want to ask any question, you can ask in comment. I will try to answer them. Thank you so much.